To phase two of my life journey. And this is where it starts to get a little bit messy. And I started to learn a lot of things about myself and realize that I had a lot more growing to do than I realized. When I was in college, I fell in love with someone younger than me. Once I graduated, his parents had set him away. He was ripped away from me. I had no closure. So I threw myself into the gym because I was so used to school and structure. It was the beginning of my health journey. So that was a really positive thing about this phase of my life. I went to a wedding and I met a guy. I remember him being covered with tattoos, of course, and he comes up to me and he goes, "We would never work together." Of course, within a matter of weeks, we started hanging out 24/7. Now, we both bonded over being in love with someone we shouldn't be. My guy was too young. His woman had something. That's his business to tell. And so we kind of bonded over that, right? And so I felt like I was being totally transparent with him the whole time. But this is when I started realizing I had codependency issues because I was with him 24/7. I would go to job sites with him. We would go to the gym together, like we were inseparable. But in my mind, I was still in love with this person that I hadn't gotten closure from. Eventually, he was like, "I have feelings for you. We need to either be together or not." And this is where I will say, number one, I cannot say enough how bad ultimatums are. It's a lose-lose situation. If someone says yes after you ultimatum them, then they're doing it for the wrong reason. And if you say no, then you lose them. I didn't want to lose him. So we got into a relationship, and this poor guy, I was not ready. I was not ready for a relationship. I didn't realize I had committophobic tendencies and issues that I would dive into later in my life. And we start dating and I start freaking out a little bit for whatever reason that it was, right? Maybe it was because I hadn't gotten over my previous relationship. Maybe I wasn't ready to be going into one, but I put this poor guy through the ringer because I didn't say no. And I think that that's why it's so important for us to realize, like, you are doing someone else a disservice by leading them on if you're not sure about your feelings. That is hurting them. You think that you're sticking around because you don't want to hurt them, but you're going to hurt them worse. It was one of the hardest lessons I ever had to learn because it's painful. It's painful to have to learn a lesson by hurting someone else. Eventually, we broke up, and it was just a messy, messy breakup. I finally ended up losing my virginity after we broke up. Losing my virginity for me sent me into a tailspin, because I had my whole life put my worth and my value in the fact that I didn't drink and I was a virgin. It just sent me down a spiral. And then all of a sudden I was single, and I also had started drinking in that phase of my life. When we broke up, it was just a tornado. I now was released back into the world, single, drinking, and not a virgin. And I didn't realize how men receive women that aren't virgins. And it is so sad. It is so sad. Similar rooms that I had felt safe before, I no longer felt safe. I didn't realize how men would automatically think that they could take whatever they wanted if I had given it to someone else. All of a sudden, it's theirs to take. And I don't know that all men are like that, but that was my experience. The beautiful thing that did come out of this phase of my life is I turned back to music. And this was the first time in my life since I think middle school. I remember picking up a pencil and paper and sitting in the living room and just writing lyrics. And I ended up writing a song called Innocence. I had it produced. I made a music video within like a month. It was just for me. It was to heal. It was about me still being innocent and beautiful and clean in the eyes of God, even though I didn't have my virginity anymore. And it was a very healing thing for me. And that ended up being the very beginning of my music journey. Stay tuned. It's gonna get deeper. It's gonna get darker, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Thanks for watching.